Yo, 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 and away we go. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is August 16th. All right, we're halfway through the month already. Like, this is sick. The fact that we're almost at September already. It is, once again, another hot day here in Edmonton, right around the 90-degree mark for you Americans. 25 degrees here in old Canada land and the UK and pretty much everywhere else around the world. Anyway, good to see everybody today. We have got a jam-packed episode of Dynamite once again. It's actually, I want to get to saying really good and I want to get to saying really bad here before we get going here. And I think maybe I'll go through the first thing first, or the good thing first here. First thing first, of course that's going to be the case. Ugh. Tonight is night one of Fight for the Fallen. Tony Khan originally had Fight for the Fallen scheduled for later on this month. But with the wildfires that have pretty much taken out the entire island of Maui, Tony Khan, Warner Discovery, all the powers that be, were able to manage to switch things around. And proceeds from tonight, or actually this whole week's worth of shows, are going to be going to the food bank and everything to help stabilize the area of Maui based on all the fires that have happened there. So I want to give full credit to Tony Khan here right now for all the positivity that he is trying to do. Like, I know people get on him, and we're going to get to that here in just a second, but for as much as people say that he's got a lot of bad things going on, he's trying to do good as much as he can. And I think this is a very good step to do that. And I think that he deserves a little bit more credit than he's getting for actually doing this. And the reason he's not getting enough credit, I just want to get into this right now because it is driving me absolutely loony. And it's really hurting me for wanting to actually slap down money on this product. And this is that whole CM Punk situation from last week. For those that haven't heard, CM Punk cut a impromptu promo on Hangman Page in the ring following Saturday night's Collision show. So it wasn't meant to be on camera, even though everybody knows that phones are everywhere. Apparently, Punk sent a text to Page trying to smooth things out, yada, yada, yada. Ryan Nemeth was asked not to be in the building because he called Punk soft for having to deal with Brawl Out the way that he did. And Christopher Daniels, the head of talent relations for AEW, was not to be at the building because in Punk's eyes, he is the elite equivalent to Ace Steel there, as he was helping try to break up the fight that was happening behind the scenes. Now, be it as it may that nobody was really right in the Brawl Out situation. Let's not get that wrong here. It was pretty sad of everything that happened there with the Brawl Out and all parties involved. At the same time, if Punk's got to realize right off the bat that even if he's just trying to throw something out in jest or just trying to take a little pot shot here and there at Page, he no longer has the credit to be able to do that. He has absolutely zero credit to get away with stuff like that. What I call it, everything is based on currency to me. And there's a little bit of respect currency there that you need in order to be able to pull something off like that. And let's face it, Punk has zero respect currency right now. And it would be very, as much as people try to say that Punk is one of those, whoa!
But I'm better than you. And you know it!
Zodiac! 18 months. My goodness, you turned 18. You're officially an adult now. Let's go. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. I hope a King of Fighters is treating you well, especially that new fight stick you got. Or a fight pad, sorry. I was just... To sum it up when it comes to Punk, and then we're going to get back onto this show, because we got 5 minutes here till we actually get the real one. I'm old enough to legally accountable for your misdeeds. In Alberta, you're actually old enough to be able to enjoy libations here in Alberta. Because our age for that is actually 18 as well. So that's where I'm coming from on that one. So, but just before you got here, I was just talking about the whole Punk situation and what needs to be done. And I'm going to call it right now. When Punk's contract is done, unless Tony Khan... Yeah, that and the ability to drink certain things as well. But yeah, Punk is a Punk. And I think Tony Khan is seriously going to have to consider not re-signing CM Punk when his contract's up. Like, as much as he draws people in as a quote-unquote draw for the company, like he's the big name and all that, milk it for what it's worth right now, but it ain't worth the headache after. And definitely, without a freaking doubt, do not put CM Punk on the All-In presser after the pay-per-view. After the show in Wembley, under no circumstances are you to get a microphone in front of CM Punk under AEW Light. Because that is a disaster waiting to happen. I get shock video, because that's basically what's going to be with Punk. One way or the other, even if he doesn't say a bloody thing, it'll be just as shocking for the fact that Punk will not say anything, or if he says too much. No way they have to. That's all the people want nowadays with Punk, yeah. For a fan base full of smarks, you think they'd turn on him already? Here's the thing. I think the smarks, I actually don't like that term, but I'll use it anyway in this case. I think they've already turned on him, but it speaks to how much we have for casual fans here. By the way, good to see you here, Crowder. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, here's the thing that frustrates me more than anything right now. We have a situation right now where we have just spent a good 8 minutes talking about CM Punk, who's on a Saturday show that we cannot get in Canada unless we want to pay $9 a month. And we got a hell of a show coming up tonight with a video game tie-in once again, and it is an AEW Fight Forever. The IWC has a lot of people that also do. I like the Elite, so it's an interesting... Yeah, I get it too. Like, you got your Cornette heads too, and you got your different factions out there. But I think for the most part, no, this is a bit of a combo breaker. Combo. I gotta get that on here. Combo breaker. But you're right about that controller. It's magical for SNK. I thought it would be. It just makes sense. Like hell, it looks like a Genesis controller, but yeah, it is really nice. But yeah, Punk has too much appeal right now with too many people that I think they're going to start. It's starting to get boring. Like, here's the thing. The first 3 or 4 times this happens with Punk, that he shows up and creates all this drama, the first 3 or 4 times, it's a bit of a shock value. Now it's more the fact of, oh, Punk said something again. Wow. It's going to get dull, and it's going to get it's going to go from shock value to just plain old sad and embarrassing for not being taken care of. So I don't know how long that contract is. I'm assuming that it's probably maybe until next summer. But get him out of there. Your product is turning into a better product than what you had before it came in. Like, the talent is starting to get recognized. You are starting to get a little more mainstream. Hell, we got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre here tonight. And if you're not familiar, that is like, from what I heard, it's like an equivalent to like The Quarry or Dead by Daylight or Left 4 Dead. But it's based on the actual stories of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And they ain't fooling around. They're going into a blood feud right off the bat here. I wonder if we're going to get this gold light all night. Oh, and to throw on with Punk too, I guess, even when Punk's trying to do right, he still is in a position where he hasn't earned, he's basically, he thinks he's earned a spot of respect and he hasn't. If you guys didn't hear, the latest story now is Jack Perry was arguing with Punk about wanting to do a glass spot so he could get rid of it off TV this week on Collision. It basically said, if you're going to do that shit, go back to Wednesday. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's just insane seeing that. Like, Punk's right, though. The glass spot really isn't needed. But at the same time, Punk shouldn't be the one to have to tell him that. I heard Tony Schiavone was there trying to talk about it. Tony Khan eventually got involved and ended the conversation, but Punk is not in a position right now where he wants to be an authoritarian figure and a locker room leader, but his stuff has just caused him not to be able to be it. This is rough. They killed Orange on top of the van. Claudio just literally ripping the van apart. So now could Wheeler get that championship? Like, I know that there's got to be somebody that takes this title off Cassidy eventually, and it just makes sense to get a little bit more gold on the BCC. I know the eventual end goal probably is Moxley versus Cassidy, which I wouldn't mind seeing for a match, say for Chicago. I'd assume you'd probably want to put that as a match for Wembley, but oh, and the other latest quote-unquote controversy that's come up now. By the way, if you could donate to the Maui Food Bank, please do. After everything that's gone on this week. Cassidy not going to the pockets. Sorry about that, chat. Sometimes the asthma just takes me in a different direction than where it should be. At least this crowd is fired up. So I would hope that by the end of this week, we're probably going to get solidified most of the card for All In Wembley. If not Chicago, a lot of the Chicago card might be based on the results of the Wembley card. But we're really in unprecedented territory where you have nice logoing there. Where we're going to get two pay-per-views back-to-back like this that are based on the same brand. Like, we've had it before where we've had pay-per-views that quick back-to-back, and I think the best example we give is probably the worst pay-per-view of all time for WWE. December to Dismember was only, 2 weeks after Survivor Series? But the biggest difference between that one and this one is the fact they were two different brands. This is like the same brand trying to promote two different shows in 2 different weeks. And the Tony Khan advertising style of the pay-per-views, and circle around about 12 times, and we're going to get to this here. Tony Khan's way of broadcasting matches or announcing the matches as they go along, right close to the pay-per-view, and just taking the credit that it's AEW, so people are just going to buy. It's going to start running out sooner than later. Like, I know we got Edmonton booked for our show just without a match announced, because we knew it was going to be AEW, we knew it was going to be good, and it absolutely delivered. But these pay-per-views, you want to try and get an absolute sellout crowd. I'd almost guarantee if you announced some of the matches that I think they're going to announce tonight, if they would announce them a couple weeks ago, people would have booked flights from North America to get over there. Like, matches I expect to be announced tonight are Jericho and Ospreay, which has been rumored to be for a while now. And then we also have probably Takeshita and Omega, or that 6-man tag that's been rumored right now with Paige, Ibushi, and Omega taking on Takeshita and a couple goods. I don't know. But the fact that you're waiting so long to get these announcements out, it actually really deters from what you're seeing here. Oh, and Zodia, I should have mentioned this right when you sub there. So just a reminder for next month, starting August 31st and then going until October 1st, subs are 25% off for the entire month. If you sub for 1 month or 3 months, you get 25% off for the duration of that sub. If you sub for 6 months at that point, you actually get 30% off the sub for the month. Like, for all 6 of those months. It's a 30% off deal. It's September here on the old Twitch box here. And then, ironically enough, September 26th to October 1st, September 26th is my birthday. They announced today that all gift subs for that week from the 26th to the 1st will be 25% off as well. So, and the best part is, content creators, Twitch is actually burning they're taking the entire cut of that 25% or 30% or whatever. So if you're worried that your sub's going to be cheaper, yes, it will, but Twitch is taking the hit, not us. We're going to get the same amount regardless. So the only reason I say that is if you have a reoccurring subscription, make sure you end it, and then when it comes up, you re-sign up with the discounted rates. So actually, Zodiac, if you check out the Twitch notes from today, and actually for the last couple months, they're actually doing a lot of things that are going up right. They announced today that if you ban somebody from your channel, you have the option to ban them from actually seeing your channel, not just the chat. So they can't take a screenshot of anything, or at least doing it live. And the VODs, they are still working on it, but Twitch is working on stuff. So Actually, I know this isn't really wrestling related, but we're going to get into it anyway here for you. There is a new head of the Twitch department here. He's only been in about 9 months, but I forget what his name is. But from what we've seen, the old guy that was in there for the last who knows how many years, basically had checked out for the last few years before he left. Now this guy is literally going up to learn everybody in every department and what they're doing. And he's listening to everybody and starting to change things up. So you might see a lot of things that change here. Except for the revenue split. That'll never change for some stupid reason. But it is getting to that point where a lot of these fly-by-night organizations just... Like, I'm sorry, I will still consider, like... I have a Kick account. I don't know if I'll ever use it. And all respect to people that try it, but... I don't think I'd switch everything over there to have to switch everything back here later. Sort of like what happened with Mixer a few years ago. Or Facebook Gaming or whatever way you want to go with it too. So what do you think, chat? Does Wheeler get the title tonight? Or do we wait and get Moxley involved in this feud? Because for me, I feel that's probably one of the. I think they're gonna wait and get Moxley involved here. I just don't see Wheeler being that guy right now. I know he's had his feuds with Shibata and such for the pure title down at ROH, but I don't know if you use Wheeler to make that title any better than what it is right now. Top Rope City. Oh, I love Taz. Taz is back into vintage Taz mode here. One thing I'd like to see here, and you just saw it here for Wheeler Yuta, just a small little inkling that helps out here. When they do a splash like that, they actually feel like they're taking damage too. So for me, it actually feels really good, the fact that they decided to... The wrestlers decide to sell things a little bit more. Oh, here we go. Dragon Screw. Oh, and just for anybody that's watching this on VOD, as they see the all in London graphic come up here, we are going to be showing All In at the Pint on White, just on the south side of Edmonton, coming up next Sunday, a week from Sunday. And here comes the BCC. Oh my goodness. There's a slap in the face right there to Mox. The Death Rider from Orange. Oh, heads up. Thought he had it. Nope. Oh, went for beach break. Nope. There's your reversal, and here comes your beatdown. And the referee's running in a hurry. Gotta hand it to Rebsberg for taking off as quick as he did there. And yes, Zodiac, they did push the button again. They had to put the emergency button, make sure the music goes off before they show up. Get the rig jackets off, you know, make sure they're nice and comfortable first. So now the Lucha Brothers are coming out? Music is required, no music, no arrival. And we'll take that as a ×2 here, because the Lucha Brothers need their music. It's in the union contract. Yeah, it makes sense. I'm just glad Penta's got his mask back on, because it seems like 50% of the time he loses it. Oh, and here comes the BCC with chairs. Oh, and here comes Eddie. And he's aiming right at Claudio. Fresh off a stint in New Japan. So I'm assuming Moxley's in the white shirt just because they want to make sure that Moxley and Kingston don't get connected whatsoever. When you have that many people in the ring, you just try to make sure that the guy in white don't touch each other. Oh, Kingston's got some words to say here. What? I'm with her. That look of that woman in the crowd there. It's like, what the hell? So are we going to get 6-on-6? Who does the BCC get? That's the question right now. Like, I would say get Aussie Open in here, but they're already involved in a match. Or do we take out Orange Cassidy out of this? I remember that Eddie is Penta's best friend. I remember that scene so well, Zodiac. It is pretty damn amazing. Because he's my best friend. He's my best friend. But you got to remember the amount of respect that Eddie Kingston just got over the last couple of weeks and the amount of fun that he's had. The fact that he got to participate in the G1. Like, he got eliminated in the round robin, but, uh-oh. Interesting choice here. Wow, look at the skinniness on Takeshita there. Like, Omega was skinny, but oh my god, Takeshita was skinny. Oh, and here comes a. Yeah, okay, this is how you set it up. How long ago was that? That was probably 20, 2013, 2012. Why are you showing JR? JR, he's seen this stuff enough times and he ain't gonna give a shit. All right, so this is how you set up the six-man tag. Okay, so yeah, we got. This is that promo that they couldn't cut in the building. Look at the ambulance. Like, this is the promo that Punk was, or they wouldn't film in the building at Collision on Saturday. All right, so the Bang Bang Gang. So he lets him drink. I wouldn't have let him drink it. Oh God! Like, so we're gonna get both of Callis' segments out of the way now. This is awesome, and I love the side of the background. Take the L. So if we pull back the curtain a little bit here, Jericho does have a European tour set up coming up, so love that he Callis is I will stick behind this. We were in when AEW was in Edmonton, and Callis came out for his promo. I don't know if I've heard heat that loud. Like the heat that they pipe in for Dominic Mysterio was legit for Don Callis. And if they would have mic'd up the arena properly there for Dynamite, you guys would not have been able to hear Don Callis at all. You guys got the opportunity to hear Don Callis because they turned up his mic for on the broadcast because we didn't hear him out in the crowd. Nobody wanted to hear him anyway, so. But I find this interesting, the fact that they've gone to full commercial during Judas. You said you were happy to have both Don Callis segments back to back, but I ask you this, don't we need more Don Callis? It's good to get it, like, if you're going to have a pre-tape like that and then you're going to have this, put it all in one. Just let him get his bunch put together and then you can just go with it. You don't want to have Callis be the focus of the show. And frankly, that's what you're going to get if you space out these segments. Do you want this show to be all about Callis or do you have something else in mind? Because, well, I'm assuming tonight the main event's going to be the Chainsaw Massacre match. By the way, Darth Emmett, it's good to see you here tonight. Good to have you in the chat once again. When it comes to a guy like Callis, yes, he's got the ultimate heat that, everybody dreams of these days. But at the same time, we got some good matches here and we got some booking for All In to get through here. What if we had the Jackal? Would that count as something different? I don't think so. I think the placement of the Callis segment avoids them being the focal point of the show. That's exactly why I think this is great. Because we still have Britt Baker and the Bunny to determine the last spot for All In, which I think we all know what that's going to be. We also have the Gates of Agony versus Nick Wayne and Darby Allin, which is going to set you up for that Sting promo moment. Jeff Jarrett, Jeff Hardy, I believe has to main event this show. And I don't think we could use the Three Faces of Foley situation here, so. So who do you think the BCC gets the joint of after what happened at Blood and Guts? There is no way in hell Pac could be a part of that. Is yes. He's going to say yes. Just to piss everybody off. The Guns heel team can start a program with the Lucha Bros the best. Oh, God. He doesn't realize, I don't think he's talking about him. Oh, this should be good. This is where it's going to change. This is where it changes right now. Ha! Wow. I'm with the crowd. This is great. Ha ha ha! This is good. This is where Osprey comes in. Yep. He just said assassinate Daryl Assassin. This is where you get Osprey. Don, just shut it. Alrighty. Because you're too selfish. All right, here we go. This is where everything falls apart. Do they throw the guns in there? That's almost like throwing a second team. Wonder what kind of dude Callis is off screen. He's like this. The one advantage of working in Alberta wrestling for 5 years like I did is the fact that you get to hear the stories and you get to hear a lot more about the backstage about people. This is Callis to a T. If you can make Callis money, he's a great guy. If you can't make Callis money, he's not there for you. He had a podcast with Lance Storm. Touche. Oh, this is going to be a trademark. Here comes a chance. Don, what are you doing? Oh, and here comes Osprey through the crowd. Oh, Takeshita there. Okay. This is how you set it up right. See the crowd popping up? There he is. Hey, Astrid, how you doing here? So we're getting the Callis segments back to back here tonight. We got the 6-man tag announced for Wembley. Now we're just getting into Jericho versus Ospreay. Sleepy but good. Yeah, it's been an interesting day to say the least. A lot of good things coming out of Twitch today, and Jericho bladed himself again. Oh, here comes the frame. He's going to get framed. Good thing that glass broke. And here comes Sammy. So, I like this. I like this dichotomy here. Because Sammy's not really a good guy. And we all know that. But he's not really a bad guy at this point, because what he said is if Jericho gets his head screwed on, he'll be there for him, right? Yeah, that glass spot didn't work. I love every time Callis tries to talk on the camera walking up the apron there, the camera just automatically zooms off him. It's great. Sammy turn? I don't know if it's a turn. This has been more of a natural turn than I have ever seen. Like, we can already go back to Double or Nothing pretty much, where the fans said they wanted Sammy as their champion in that Fatal 4-Way match in many ways. Like, Jungle Boy was looking to be the heel at that point. Taz is pissed. Wow, there's no quiet entrance or any. Oh my God, here we go. Gates of Agony just said, nope, we're not waiting. So if you weren't around last week, we do end up getting Swerve and AR Fox versus Sting and Darby in a coffin match at Wembley. And once again, the emergency music button has been hit. But nobody's making any emergency stops down to the ring. If I was a wrestler right now, I'd be hella annoyed. But yeah, it looks like at this point we're going to get... oh, God. There go your knees, Mr. Wayne. So, for anybody that's watching it is a video game person, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is on Game Pass, I do believe. I'm not into those horror games. I'll be the first one to admit it. It's almost going to be scary to see what we're going to see here in this match. Which, like I said, I assume that we're going to get the main event being that it's going to be a choreographed match. It'll probably be something that's off screen on cameras. And it's going to be like the more recent Friday the 13th. From what I've heard, I think so. It's one of those, I hate to say Dead by Daylight clones, but in many ways I think it will be. But I think a little bit more accurately, there's going to be a little bit more story to it. So I think it's going to be more like the Quarry in many ways. I love how Wayne tried to go up for a second rope cutter, and it was just nope, smack down. But yeah, from what I hear, it's supposed to be an escape horror kind of game, right? So Friday the 13th might actually be the best way to mention it. I haven't seen it. If you're into that kind of stuff, more power to you. Halloween is my worst time of year, so I think that sums that up for me. So I love how Wayne has to take the heat through this entire match. Now Darby's just sitting on the ring apron like, as angry as he is, he's in the back of his head, he's like, I don't have to get beaten up and wait for Sting to tag in anymore. Yay! But I will say this right now. I am going to be very disappointed that if they go to Wembley and the coffin match, it's one of those where you have to tag each other in to put the other person in the coffin. If they do that, it's just asinine and annoying. It's almost like the original Texas Death Match that they did here in AEW. I believe it was John Moxley and Lance Archer, sorry. Where you actually had to get the pinfall first and then the 10 count. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world, but at the same time, I absolutely love the fact that Impact's pay-per-views are being shown on the same advertisement as AEW. And the fact that Emergence, I do believe, is the same night as All In. So oh sure, clothesline each other. What the hell? You can sort of tell that the Gates of Agony are a bit of an ROH team just because they're... I'm not saying they're horrible. They just seem to be a little sloppy in some of the more organized spots. I'd like to see what they are when they have to be a little more organic, which I think they might actually be better at just calling it as they go. It seems like Darby and Nick would be more guys that you'd actually have to call the stuff a little bit more on the fly. Oh, nice slap. I always found it weird to do that slap in the face moment there with each other. Trying to fire each other up, I get it. So, question for you, chat. In the death match tonight, do we see a chainsaw? Because I was actually in Walker DTM or Walker Pipe Guy stream yesterday. He was playing NHL Hits 2003. Well, that'll do it. And I mentioned, it's like he has they have to, yeah. He had his team entirely modded with his subs and people that have helped donate towards the Stollery Children's Hospital here in Edmonton. So Walker's team set up, and I'm the goalie, of course. I'm the, I used to be the backup goalie, but now I'm starting goalie. But, oh God. I'll get back to that in a sec. Oh my goodness. They got Nana. That face on Sting is a meme waiting to happen. Sting is nuts. Oh my God, that was Joker TNA Sting right there. Just absolutely off the wall. I won't. If we get Joker Sting out there and just randomly throwing out, chainsaws and another statement. Here we go. Someone likes 1989 Batman? Absolutely. So only these two could make a segment out of Outback Steakhouse. The Bloomin' Onion? Watching viral videos of. What the hell they find? Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay. They even got Tony Khan in on the bit. I honestly feel that could be. That sounds like a person with a spine. Um, Zodiac, well, he was there. Ha! We're up right now. Freaking Roddy. Crybaby Roddy might be one of the favorites around it, but yeah, going back to the NHL hits 2003 that Walker was doing. I'm the backup well, I'm the goalie, right? Apparently I was a starting goalie because I was the backup in NHL. But anyway, so the goalies can actually fight. Everybody fights. If you get into a fight in NHL hits 2003, you get a penalty for losing. Not for winning a fight, but losing a fight. So I asked politely, and they upped my stats a little bit, and I asked, is there a mod where you can, put a chainsaw blade in the end of the goalie stick for me? Because, nobody needs to be near my crease. I actually floored Walker completely. He didn't realize I could be that sadistic. I told him, I've watched a lot of wrestling. Yes, I know that story wasn't as epic as most people would think. I'm sorry if it wasn't. Well, it was a fun episode last night. And also a reminder to check out Walker Pipe Guy if you can. I think he's actually streaming tonight. We'll see what happens by the time we're done here, but it's going to be interesting to see how they develop here with the MJF and Adam Cole segment here. What do you guys think? Do they win the tag titles at the start of the show? Because I know they're going to be talking about the main event, but do you think that they actually go out and win the championships? To me, I think the answer is no, but Darth Emmett, you think they do? You know what? It's a complete crapshoot, and I like that. I like the fact that we could have many options open here. The only other thing I can suggest is, could it end up being a schmoz with the Kingdom coming out to wreck it? Builds the betrayal that's coming even more. Here's my thought, and I know I'll talk about this a little bit more on our preview show next week. My thoughts on what's going to happen here is you're going to get, during that tag match, you're going to have the Kingdom come out and actually cost MJF and Cole the championships, whether they break up a cover or saying, or attack Max at the end of it or saying, or it'll be a DQ, whatever, on the pre-show. And then during the main event, they come out again. But this time they attack MJF and Adam Cole gets the championship. And that's that betrayal you talk about, Darth Emick. I think that's how it plays out. Then the Kingdom beats Better Than You, baby, which MJF is by himself. Since Adam isn't helping. That, fair enough. So you get Kingdom ROH tag belts, Adam Cole AEW champ. Yeah, that very well could be the case, Darth, and I'm all with you on that. I just want to see something different. I want to see something unique. I want to see something. I want to see something crazy. Because one thing I've learned, and I know I've stated this here on the pod more than once. You're always looking for that one little thing that changes from the norm. Wrestling properly is 95% of what you expect in terms of results, storylines, etc. It's that 5% that you don't expect to happen. That's what gets you moments. That's what gets you real, honest to goodness moments that you'll never forget. Like when it comes to your flip-de-doos and fancy spots and whatever, you do so many of them, you don't remember what's going to happen by the end of it. You remember maybe one spot through the whole thing. But the moments that last forever are the things that you don't expect to happen. So how full do you think that building is? MJF is then off TV after the epic beating. Then whoever faces Undisputed Kingdom is outnumbered. Boom, MJF comes out. Tremendous pop, saves the day. Nice. I like your thinking. But I also think we have a pay-per-view a week later that we have to deal with. So... Oh my God. My God, that is dumb. So 0 hours available on Twitter next week. I just noticed that on there. That's interesting. I got another theory here, and I want to get to it after we're done this promo here, because I'm. This is where it gets serious here. Ha! Here comes MJF. Cole gonna cheat. I don't know if he can out cheat the cheater. I got a whole different thinking about what they're gonna do here, and it. Sounds like he was just a regular wrestler out of Alberta. 90,000 miles in a year. A little bit of history going on here and whatnot. Oh, yeah. He would still be in MLW right now, probably. As much as we'd say MJF would be in the WWE by now, I don't think WWE looks at him yet. We ain't fooling around, that's for sure. Could you imagine just a few months ago actually having these chants for MJF like this? Second biggest, but who's counting? I'm sorry, nobody's ever beaten Collision in Korea. Because you'd have to build an extra 30,000 seats onto that facility to get everybody in there. This means everything to me. So you know what? After just listening to this promo, I got a whole different whack of thought about what happens here. You gotta love the heart and soul that MJF is pouring into this right now. There we go. Hot damn. This crowd is eating this up. All right, here's my extended thoughts. I was going to save this for next week, but I'm going to throw this out right now. Oh, and here comes Aussie Open to break everything up. And Aussie Open just getting murdered here by the... Oh, he holds the rope and disappears. Yep, no, that's the right way to do it. It's been a very fun build up to the title match. Gonna try the kangaroo kick? Seriously? All right. Now that we're going to get a commercial right now, I can give you my thoughts about what's going to happen here. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I'm still going to spoil it. Uh-oh. This crowd wants him to hug it out. I don't see no knife stabs. All right, my thoughts on this. Kingdom come out and interfere in the tag title match for the ROH tag titles. I don't know whether we get a DQ or we get a new champs It ain't going to last long if they got new champs. All in London. Adam Cole is a Bret Hart guy. Tony Khan is a Bret Hart guy. My God, Roderick. I honestly feel that the match at Wembley finishes clean. And it finishes with a roll-up just like Davey and Bret. Maybe not the exact same cover, but maybe so. A quick reversal finishing everything off. They cheer each other on. They're thankful for the match, but you could see the look in the eyes of... but you could see the look in the eye of Cole like, no, this isn't right. The rematch happens in Chicago a week later. That's where we get the turn, and that's where we get MJF over as the hero. All right. It's been like 45 minutes. Why do you still have dry blood, bro? Wait. I have questions. Why do you still have blood? It's just for effect. He wants it for the pictures. Well, that makeup's a choice. Oh, the mask. My God, he's got a leather face mask. Oh my goodness. The makeup on the eyeballs just freaks me the fudge out. So here's a question for you, chat. I'm going to throw this out here. Is it Bucks Guns main event? Or is it the women 3 weeks in a row? Because we got 2 more matches after this. I honestly thought this would be the main event. Jeff, what do you... If they were smart, they would have started... Oh my goodness. All right. This is sponsored by a video game. Winner keeps the Jeff name. Karen, do you really want to be involved in this? I'm actually surprised they don't have any music going on. This is in Tennessee. You get that little country music going on here. The other has to change it to the more awkward Jeff. I'll give you that. At least Satnam's getting a use for those overalls. I sure as hell hope they find a way to come up with some skins for this. The viscous liquid. No selling the kick. They're actually going to come out to the ring, or is this just going to be, like, frick, you could have just pre-taped all this if you really wanted to. They're even going picture in picture. That's hilarious. Well, it's almost as if it's like, you'd have some subversive advertising in a video game. Who would have thought? So, I have to ask you, Chad, and it throws me off a little bit, makes me wonder. Like this match is sponsored by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game. Has a sponsorship of a wrestling match or a wrestling show ever made you consider going after that product, whether it be a video game, whether it be checking out a movie, whether it be picking up a particular product? For me, I think in many ways it actually does depend a little bit on the match, but for the most part, I don't think it means a whole lot. Because if you look, the Mountain Dew Black match, I don't think the sales of Mountain Dew were out there impressing it that much. Unless your name's Quest for Jules here, which I know he'd be all over Mountain Dew whenever he can. Or Omen fan. I'll be fair with that. What in the hell? Oh, here comes Sanjay. Oh, or is that Jay Lethal? All right. Like I said, this is a choice. But even the House of the Living Dead match in the pandemic era, if they would have done that better, maybe you consider watching the movie, but the way those zombies were just meh. Shark Week, I think, depends a little bit more about where you're at, because in the States, they have all this shark-sponsored stuff, so you're going to go out and watch the channel. You just keep the channel on, keep it running. But I think we could have used our time a little bit more effectively than this, to be honest. Maybe you have this little pre-taped segment here, but I hope they move this along at a very decent pace. That's the biggest thing for me right now. But on a positive note, like, I don't want to be crapping all over this. I don't want to be all completely negative. Having Jeff Hardy in one of these matches versus a regular match, we did get to see last week Jeff's condition against the Bucks, and he did not look comfortable out there. Whether it be us as fans or them as wrestlers, Jeff did not look like he deserved to be out there. In a match like this, where he doesn't have to particularly do a whole lot in terms of standard stuff, Crowd, you're supposed to get back on the main action. Who gives a crap about what's going on the outside? Cameraman, smarten up. There's smoke coming underneath the ring now. The hell? I'll offer up and make terms that they have to make the ring name Joffrey. Now, maybe it's just me, but I got a feeling they're going to have the women's match after this just because they usually end up putting the women in the shit spots here, which I got a feeling that might be the case of what happens here. Thought of it, but when you see that spelling, I think the giraffe from Toys R Us, and that's just royalty. Are we going to see a fire spot here? Is that what Jeff grabbed? No. This match is an epitome of wrestling is dumb sometimes, and that's okay. But you have to like that wrestling is dumb sometimes. That is a very, very important point. Because we do eventually get to see a lot of this stuff. At least the table broke properly. Pin him and end it. Pin him and end it. Oh, now we got the whip. Yeah, this actually in many ways is... Oh, here we go. Little cowboy boot to the nuts. That's great. And a little Karen Jarrett to the nuts. So at least Karen got her signature in. Oh, and Jeff's got a Hardy guitar. Hardy guitar. Well, that's a tune. Do we get Chainsaw Charlie? Oh my God. This is me when they tell me I have to work overtime. Karen, that was a interesting dive, right? You couldn't have used the chainsaw on anybody. We're going full wrestling dominant. Well, you know what? As long as you're playing into it. That's a full metal hammer. And Jarrett's going to win it. It's a shenanigans match. Of course Jarrett's going to win it. TK finally had enough of the complaining in the back. Put on this human mask and lost it. That very well could have been TK. He was reaming out Cole and MJF earlier in a surprising manner that we didn't expect. And Jarrett did say earlier this week that he got this sponsorship from this game. So it sort of makes sense that he's going to get the championship, right? So now they got to spend the commercial break cleaning this up. They made a belt for this? Yeah, they actually did. It was a Texas Chainsaw Championship. I got a feeling you might see something like that in multiplayer. Because there's got to be something coming up in multiplayer, right? I'll guarantee you, if AEW is smart, they have that championship in the game. Then they can show clips of that somewhere all the time. Folks, I think the best way to sum that up is, well, gents, you're not going to be on the all-in card, but you're going to be remembered a certain way. Because I think the only way that these 4 get on a card, or 6 or 8, or how many people are there? I take it as taking the piss out of AEW having too many belts. Hey, you know what? Maybe they traded a belt in and got this one instead for tonight. Maybe the TNT Championship is gone. Check with Luchasaurus. That's what happened to Luchasaurus's belt. Christian Cage has another one. But the real champion handed in his championship and got that one because he is a Leatherface as well. So he almost felt like it was going to be his complexion that was going to be on the championship. So 6 degrees of separation. You don't mind it. But I will say this. That was definitely, I think, of 2 things with Double J. Laying down for Hogan and rap is crap. Not sure anything will top those for you. Fair enough. For me, you also got to remember, Alberta is the last place that Jeff Jarrett was wrestling on the indies before he ended up going to rehab. So Real Canadian Wrestling here in Alberta gets the distinct pleasure of saying they are such an interesting promotion they drove Jeff Jarrett to rehab. Because he worked the first night, didn't work the second. But yeah, sorry, that was just a moment. But you know what? Sometimes dumb works. And the action really didn't stop. There wasn't anything that really looked... Here's the thing about these stupid matches like this. Do you get anything that feels out of place? Like in that match, did they really feel like there was any part of it? Like all of it was weird, but not all of it was out of place. So we go from something really easygoing to something really serious here. She's got the original jacket. That jacket there, if you're not familiar, by the way, shout out to Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker, the Killer and the Pillar. But that gear right there, that's what she wore to All In Chicago. And she was talking about this, that she was actually talking about this morning on the socials, that it was such a privilege for her to have the opportunity to be announced as a doctor for the very first time at All In, because that's when she found out she was a doctor. Like when she passed all her exams and whatnot. Her first event as a official doctor was at All In. So good to see the bunny back. You want to talk about somebody who's been snake bitten, like injury after injury after injury. And the biggest problem with having somebody like the bunny out is she is one of those wrestlers on the roster with TV experience. Like, she's had a ton of time in Impact Wrestling prior to this, so she knows the TV product. And for those that think the indie product versus the TV product is like a seamless switch, there really isn't. There is a lot to TV wrestling. Oh, here we go. Could you imagine them swerving everybody here and having the Bunny win this? I think the Bunny is great. She's always had great energy, and it isn't that bad. Hardcore tag matches. And yeah, that match with Penelope and Bunny versus Anna Jay and Ty Mello, that was absolutely freaking amazing. But yeah, she's always been great. She's just been snake bit. That's the biggest thing. She's been snake bit. The Bunny will give it all for a great match. Agree, she is great. And probably the star of that match. Absolutely. She had barbed wire wrapped around her neck the whole time. Like, surprised she didn't die at some points there. Oh, and here we go. Always got to get that interference spot to change the match around. Okay, well, yeah, I got a feeling they're only going to get a couple more minutes here to finish this up. Sucks, but it's true. Because we got the Elite and the Gun Club coming up for our main event here. Could they get another segment? That's the one thing. Could they get it? I would hope so. I guess we are going to get another segment with women. I'm happy about that. Give us some decent time here with the women in the ring here. That is going to be a hell of a four-way match. Like, if you can't get a hater for the four-way that we're going to get there, I think Sheeta is an absolute great replacement for her. Because you can't tell me that Hater wouldn't have been perfect for that other spot in that four-way. I guarantee you that's the spot that they were looking to fill there. You would think for a dentist, having somebody lick your face just sucks that much more. Because you know what it's like sticking things in your face and your mouth. I have to say this, and I know we're going to talk about it next week on our all-in preview show. I got a feeling that this card is going to be a lot better than what people expect. AEW always delivers when it comes to big pay-per-views. They've had a few fizzle-out moments. Like, I think the biggest fizzle-out moment, no pun intended, was the exploding barbed wire death match between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. Both figuratively and literally. But people seem to forget before that, it was a 25-minute hardcore classic between those two. As much as hardcore classics can be hardcore classics. But AEW has an absolute opportunity to solidify themselves on a map here. Is a shitty fizzle out potential result in Fight Forever? I do believe you can adjust the settings on it. Like there's one of the secrets in the game is you can turn on that instead of the regular one. Oh, when MJF won the I would have to say that match there. Yeah, I could say that was probably a bad one. To me, it was just a story that didn't need to be told in that case. Sucking the air out of the room, yeah, like To me, that was about the equivalent of Brock Lesnar coming out for Money in the Bank and just, yeah, no, I'm in the match now and I'm winning it. And I think the case is identical in both. We got something good out of it. We got Beatbox Brock for the WWE one, and we got MJF as the world champion on the other one. Get off this camera with somebody walking in front of it. Jesus, cameraman. Brock party! It's a hot Brock party and a Brock party and a Brock party don't stop. I'm sounding like a chicken right now. Brock. I know that's going to be a sound effect for years to come now. Going for that swinging neck breaker and it didn't work. Don't talk about this match now. Talk about it in the next match. Here we go. All right, get the glove out. Let's finish this off. Let's go. It's almost like we know how this is going to end, but we... Could you imagine? Oh my goodness, could they? All right, we're going to finish it with a curb stomp instead. Shout out to Chelsea there with the finish. For anyone that doesn't know, Britt's former tag partner was Chelsea Green, current WWE Tag Team Champion. And that was prior to getting to All In. So there we go, our women's four-way match for the title. The one thing I just hope out of this match, more than anything, is they get time. Like, let's face it, we're probably going to get that. We might get a TBS Championship match. But I'm extremely hoping that they get time. Because I feel, that could be a defining match as well. So who do they get for their three people? That's the thing I'm wondering right now, too. I don't like this four-way now because Sheeta just got the belt and she deserves a nice, healthy run. Absolutely. Meaning it has to be Sheeta? I don't think it has to be. I think there's a way that you got to remember, we're getting into very strange territory here. Where we're having 2 pay-per-views in 8 days. Or 7 days, whichever way you want to call it. Because anything that happens on week 1 can always be reversed in week 2 or changed. Somebody who's dealing with these graphics is turning into a complete moron. Like myself personally, Guns insert person who hates Eddie from G1. I just hope that I would honestly think I'd hope it be. I got an idea. Oh, here come the Acclaim for. We're getting a squash match now? All right, well. At least the promo's going quick tonight. Because they have to, because they only got, 18 minutes to get 2 matches in. So do we get the House of Black just randomly show up now? Oh, yeah. Now they want to retire everybody. Watch it be Billy come out for the save now. He's back. I will say this. I do love the fact that the Bucks are killing their own clock here right now. And Buddy's just extra aggressive right now that he's engaged. Malachi doesn't need to move. Why does he even bother? Oh, Caster cut himself open outside. We got more blood tonight. So what's our blood count tonight? We got Jericho. We got Jarrett with viscous liquid, so we can count that as a 0.5. We got Caster. Hey, Baker just used that. So now Julia's... So is Julia just a klepto? I think Julia's a klepto now. Because what? It was Andrade's mask, and now it's Billy Gunn's boots. Hey, jump it up. Hey, jump it up. Missed everything while I was out taking photos? Huh? What'd you miss? Let's see now. Jericho was going to join Callis until Callis had a picture of the scorpion decapitation of Jericho by... And Callis was the guy that was holding the head. We ended up getting Jericho versus Ospreay announced for All In based off that. We had the interview with Kenny Omega with Jim Ross that got interfered by Don Callis and the Bang Bang Gang along with Takeshita. So now we're getting 6-man tag with Adam Page, Kota Ibushi, and Kenny Omega taking on the aforementioned 3. We had the BCC come out after Wheeler Yuta and Orange Cassidy had a drag-out awesome match. Eddie Kingston came out to join up with the Lucha Brothers and The best friends, all three of them. So we're going to get 6-on-6 Stadium Stampede at All In Wembley. So that's going to be crazy. MJF has now learned a new move called the Kangaroo Kick as they are taking on Aussie Open, and they did their prep by going to Outback Steakhouse. And we got to hear Tony Khan go ape shit on Adam Cole and MJF at a point. It was behind scenes, but it was definitely a loud voice and sounded like Tony Khan actually had a spine for the first time in his career. That's a quote out of the chat tonight. What else? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match based on a video game was some of the... Do yourself a favor. I'm not gonna even try to describe it. Tony Khan started yelling behind the scenes at Adam Cole and MJF because they had to stop double clotheslining random people in public. You know how we do in those random like GTA games where you randomly shoot somebody just for the hell of it? Yeah, Tony Khan was trying to be the voice of reason. But the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match, do yourself a favor, just go watch it. It was mind-numbing, but it was the best kind of mind-numbing. And Jeff Jarrett won his newest world title, which was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre title. And now we're just hopping on to good old Slapnuts. Yep, we give them a... And now we get our main event where we have the other half of the Bang Bang Gang, the Guns, and the Young Bucks. Once again, I want to throw this out here. Who's producing this stuff? Because this is the second time we're getting this. Because we had Darby Allin and Nick Wayne against the Gates of Agony earlier, and they did the same damn thing. The Gates of Agony came down the ramp and jump-started the match like this. Oh, and we got to see Joker Sting tonight. Like, real TNA, I'm hyped up on drugs, Joker Sting. I believe the comment in the chat was somebody was a big fan of... Somebody was a fan of 1989 Batman. That kind of Joker. So, definitely worth checking out. Are the Guns one of the most improved wrestlers teams in 2023 so far? I would say so. I would say her. I would say Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue. On the women's side would be considered some of the most improved. I would say if Jack Perry ends up keeps on going on the same path that he is as a heel, Dirty Dom, yeah, I would say so in a way, but also at the same time, I hate to say it this way, but I'm going to say it straight up. What does Dom do? What does Dom do to actually justify saying that he's improved that much? He's hated by everybody. His promo skills are horrible. Like, not horrible as in horrible speaking. The fans just absolutely hate the guy. I get it. His personality's that. But the actual wrestling in the ring, if you break it down and watch it, he's got to be in there with some pretty good wrestlers to have a decent match. I don't think he's been in a match where he doesn't have a decent wrestler working with him. And when I mean decent, it's really damn good. And once again, hey, Andre, how you doing? So yeah, I'm talking with Andre. We might, I haven't talked to Andre about it, but we might find a way to do this next preview going live here, maybe. we'll see how things go. We're going to be next week. We're going to be previewing All In. Got a whole bunch of matches announced this week here, Andre, so be ready. Yeah, we'll figure out a time, schedule things out, and definitely we'll have to get that set up because it's going to be one of the most memorable shows ever. Ever. So. Very nice, Andre. Yeah, well, Andre is always working Wednesday nights. Like, he used to be able to get that off, but he seems like it's consistently like that now. The man has been to prison. Life is way improved. All right, you know what? Let's give you that. Golden Elite versus Bullet Club Gold. Absolutely, that was announced. We got Ospreay Jericho that was announced tonight. Britt Baker got the final spot in the four-way under Captain Obvious rules here. We are getting a Stadium Stampede match with the BCC versus Best Friends, Lucha Brothers, Eddie Kingston. So that's going to be interesting there. We're really starting to pile up these matches for the pay-per-view next week, which we knew we would. Like, there have been rumblings from the backstage that a lot of the wrestlers are wondering how the card's going to go for that card. So I watch his promo. I wonder if it's intentional, like he's intentionally that bad at promos just to draw that heat. I don't think Dom's that horrible at promos, really. But I do think that he does need some work. Who's going to be the partners of the BCC? They're leaving him as blank right now. Here's my prediction, chat. And I'm going to give you a little preview early because I missed the one earlier. Not saying, just saying. There's a couple grizzled young vets that are that have their contracts expiring, and nobody really knows the date. Literally expiring. Could there be an opportunity that WWE totally screwed up and they're just going to walk out of one promotion and right into another? I think it would totally be a missed opportunity if they don't have Trent Seven in that match. I will say that right now. Having one member of Mustache Mountain and British Strong Style, if you can get them as part of this. And Trent, when he was in AEW for a little bit, he was playing a heel. So, Grado's a mystery. I don't know if Grado could be a partner of the BCC. They would absolutely destroy him. But I've heard that Grado is going to be a part of the show, possibly. Or else that's part of the Impact show, one or the other. You can go live the Saturday night before All In. You know what? That might actually be not a half bad idea. All In is going to be Sunday afternoon. Preview show starting at 10 o'clock, 0 hour, featuring the ROH Tag Team Championships being defended by Aussie Open against the team of Adam Cole and MJF. Yes, it is 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So, and 11 a.m. the pay-per-view starts. That's why our showing of the show is actually going to be at the Pint on White instead of yes, Adam Standard Schedule time, which also is Mountain Standard Time. And there's a tag. Bucks are going to go nuts. We're actually having it at the Pint instead of Beercade, because Beercade doesn't open till 5. So, and you're watching at Andre's place. Yeah, you're probably going to be up. Oh, that's right. You're not going to be around for All Out. So, Yeah, family visiting for All Out. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun weekend overall. I know I have the day booked off for both pay-per-views. So I'm really looking forward to it. Plus, it's a long weekend for the Chicago show. So, but the fact they're gonna have 80,000 people there, I hope that the whole thing doesn't get a Destino. I haven't seen that in a while from the Bucks. BE Trigger blocked. The timing was a little off, but not horrible, right? Should have been there a second earlier too, just to break it up before they had to stop their kick. Oh, I love the fact that the Bucks have like 4 or 5 finishers. So the Bucks have a way of blocking all of them. Nope, knockdown spot. There it is. No way. Oh, bad camera angle. Showing Nick. Like, look at that timing. Showing Nick on the side. He knew he was coming in to break that up. But look at Nick. Like, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, when trying to break out the BTE trigger a little late, Nick was absolutely right where he needed to be there. Snapdragon. It's not an Omega Snapdragon, but it was pretty damn close. Oh, here we go. Ha! So the Bucks used the cheating ways to get through that. So the Bucks are going to be playing up his heels right now? Now, and here comes the FTR spot. They're zooming out, want to have that they hit the camera a little too early for the FTR spot there. Because I'd assume the FTR has to come out for this one. Or Omega, one or the other. Where's the music? Gotta hit that button. There it is. We knew the music was gonna come. We're just waiting for when. Oh yeah, they're coming through the crowd. And they got beef with the Guns. Like the feud with the Bang Bang Gang's done, but the Guns, they definitely still have some beef with. And yes, they are calling it the Shatter Machine again. Oh, they're pulling the same spot Adam Cole did. Like, are we on repeat night tonight? We'll be going off the air with this, so. You know what? This is a great setup night. We're not on the go home show, because that's next Wednesday. So yeah, we're on the go home show. Like, we're essentially at the we're at this main setup show, not the go home show for the All In pay-per-view. And honestly, there was a little bit of everything tonight. The booking was a lot similar in a little bit of spots here. Yes, I know that grammar was absolutely spectacular, but we had the 6-man tag announced with Omega, Team Omega versus, the Golden Lovers, the Golden Loving Elite versus Team Callis, or the Callis family, wherever you want to call it. We had the Stadium Stampede match announced, which that's going to be insane with that big of a building that they get to fight in. We got Jericho Ospreay announced, which really didn't need a lot of build because, Jericho knew this was coming, so, and everybody just wants to see Will Ospreay work. The women's match is finally finalized. We don't have much going on in terms of what we got on Collision. Punk still hasn't listened to Joe's request for a match there. And there's a whole bunch of other ones, like we don't have a TNT match there. We don't have a TBS match there. There's a lot to digest on the Collision side, but the Dynamite side, I think we might be settled as to what we're getting there in terms of this half of the draw. So we got to see what happens this Saturday on Collision. Well, for you guys that can get it, because I'm not paying $8 for it this Saturday, but I might have to start forking out for it. We'll see how things go here, but I think that's going to wrap it up here for tonight's AEW Dynamite Sidecast here. Great show. Great show for all of us to see here. And we got to see that Texas Chainsaw Massacre match as to what the hell was that? I think is the best way to sum that up. It was brain rotting, but it was the best kind of brain rotting, I think is the best way to put it. So